on Indian economy. So please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed it yet. All the new guys out here, please do subscribe to the channel. That will help you stay connected with me, and you will be able to make sure that you don't lose out on any further lessons, further sessions on UPSC APFC as well as UPSC CSE. ये सारे ही सेशंस में काम आएगा, सारे एग्जाम्स में आपको काम आएगा सेशन, वेदर इट इज़ UPSC APFC, वेदर इट इज़ UPSC CSE, वेदर इट्स RBI, वेदर इट्स एनी अदर एग्जाम. इंडियन इकोनॉमी डज नॉट चेंज फॉर एनीवन. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं पढ़ाऊँगा तो कल कम होगा, कोई और पढ़ाएगा तो ज़्यादा होगा, किसी एग्जाम में कम आएगा, किसी एग्जाम में ज़्यादा आएगा. दैट डज नॉट हैपन नाउ इट इज़ बिकॉज द एग्जामिनेशंस हैव बिकम वेरी कम्पिटिटिव, and therefore all these sessions are equally relevant for all the exams. Okay, so do subscribe to the channel, do subscribe to this initiative where I'm providing the entire content for not only Indian economy but the entire course of APFC completely for free. Okay, that said, let us start with the session. In this session I'm going to cover the very basics of national income accounting. बहुत ही basic सी चीज़ें हम pick up करेंगे. I will tell you the entire table as well. What am I going to cover in the next few sessions? Indian economy is expected to go a long way. One more thing has been initiated, and that is polity classes. So हमको लग रहा था कि यार मज़ा भी आ रहा है पढ़ाने में, lot of students are joining in, but we ourselves are not able to move with the speed that I want to move with. So Manish sir has started with polity sessions. He's an expert in polity. He knows how to understand. He understands polity very well. वो पढ़ा भी सकते हैं बहुत अच्छे से. You all have or might have seen his method of teaching in RBI only in economic and social issues. So he will be picking up entire polity और हम साथ में cover करेंगे both polity as well as Indian economy. One week I will be covering Indian economy. The next week I will be shifting or moving to industrial relations. इस तरह से आपके लिए it'll be more interesting for you, less monotonous for you till the time the notification comes out, and it'll become easier for you to prepare as well. तो इसलिए multiple topics हमने pick up करने की सोची है. तो जो टाइम टेबल था उसमें चेंजेस होंगे of course based upon this initiative, this movement that is happening now, that I'm trying to teach multiple subjects together. Very soon I will be starting with history and geography as well. उसको भी जल्दी ही start करेंगे. The idea there is also the same. If you're able to cover multiple subjects together, just like you would have if you had taken any course. मैं आपको अपना कोर्स देता तो उसमें सारी pre-recorded sessions आपको अभी मिल जाते. But yes, उसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है because everything will be taught light here only in this channel itself. Whatever will be taught keeping in mind UPSC CSE as well. So if you're preparing or thinking of preparing for UPSC CSE अगले साल के लिए next year, then all these sessions are certainly going to be very helpful for you as well. Okay. Notification, yes, it is expected very soon because Assistant Labour Commissioner notification came out very recently. Seats बहुत कम है वहाँ पर, but that is how the examination is. 29 seats if I'm not wrong. So I'm expecting the notification of APFC also to come out very soon. If you're a newbie, then of course वहाँ पे आपको काफ़ी जद्दोजहद, काफ़ी मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. It will become close to an impossible task. Then you might give up if you've not started already. On the other hand, if you're already done with let's say 50% of the syllabus, 60% of the syllabus, it'll be a cakewalk for you. कि भाई मेरे को कॉन्फिडेंस मिल जाएगा आपको that I've already prepared this much, I've already learned this much. Now I just have to continue the way I have been preparing and I will have a good chance of getting through. Okay, so that is the entire idea of starting with the classes before actually the notification is released. Normally हम लोग notification के बाद start करते हैं, but then the time is too late. It's normally too late. Okay. ALC के लिए I have not yet gone through the entire ALC notification, but I have जो भी मैंने देखा है people with graduation can apply as far as I know. I'm not very certain about it as of now. I will try and create a video tomorrow on the same. So if you want to apply for ALC as well, वो भी कर सकते हो. वहाँ पे भी if I'm not wrong, Indian economy should be there. It's always there in all the examinations. तो जो भी exam दोगे, it's going to be helpful there as well. Okay. Yes, a separate playlist has already been created if I'm not wrong. I had told my team कि भाई एक separate playlist बनाओ IR की और एक separate बनाओ polity की, separate बनाओ Indian economy की. Okay. Naveen is asking accounts भी जल्दी start करेंगे, don't worry about that. Okay. Reference books भी जल्दी बताऊंगा, don't worry about that as well. I'm still working on that कि reference books आपको एक exhaustive और अच्छी list दी जाए तो उसको भी start करेंगे. Okay. जो पढ़ा रहे हैं प्लीज पहले वो पढ़ना शुरू कर दीजिए because then otherwise we have this tendency as humans, we have this tendency of always having this feeling that the grass is greener on the other side, or in this case that the other subject is more important. Indian economy तो मृणाल सर से पढ़ लिया है या Indian economy तो वहाँ से पढ़ लिया है. Of course your priorities might be different and that is very valid, but जो अभी पढ़ाना शुरू किया है उसको अच्छे से पढ़ते जाएंगे, रिविजन के तौर पे लेते जाएंगे. Even then that will be enough for us to be better prepared, to be prepared to our optimum level for the examination. Keeping that in mind, let us start with this session. काफी लोग आ गए हैं, so I would want to start with the session. Okay, so today's session is, as I said, going to be about the basics of Indian economy. National income accounting is the name of the chapter. The timetable is already provided to you. You must have it with you. That timetable says the first topic is macroeconomics. In that, the first chapter is national income accounting. Okay, so this is the name of the first chapter. In this chapter, we have a lot of other sub chapters as well. So we have topics, then we have chapters within topics, and then within chapters we have sub chapters. Okay, so what is that complete list of sub chapters? That is our first objective to understand. The list of sub chapters include these 17 sub chapters. Totally 17 sub chapters आते हैं, which will help you have a comprehensive, holistic understanding about what can be asked from you in the examination. क्या क्या आपसे एग्जाम में पूछा जा सकता है? What all can be asked from you in the examination? These are the 17 subtopics that I have identified. Today, I thought that I'll cover 5-6 sub-chapters because that is the speed that I want to follow. However, I could make the PPTs and a comprehensive material only for 2 sub-chapters. These are meaning and concept of economics and economy and history of national income in India. कुछ topics हैं यहाँ पर जिनमें time लग सकता है. I would not want to compromise on the quality. That is why I'm going to cover only these 2 topics today. परसों से लेंगे, हो सकता है हमारी स्पीड भी बढ़ जाए, कवरेज भी बढ़ जाए. Some topics might be smaller as well. So let us start with the first one, which is meaning and concept of economics. If you're going for the interview or if you're standing before someone and you want to explain what exactly is economics, it is often considered to be a very difficult task. आपको पता होगा तब भी आप you might not be able to explain what is the meaning of economics. Before starting with the science and the art, economics is normally considered to be a black science because it consists of both science, features of both science as well as art. And therefore, it becomes very, very difficult as it is behavioral in nature, it is psychological in nature, it is dependent upon human, modifications in human behavior, human psychology, human perceptions in nature, and that is why it becomes difficult to understand economics as well. Starting with the meaning and concept of economics, there are 2 important things which give rise or gave rise to the study of economics. Number 1, the resources in an economy are limited. जो भी resources हैं economy में वो limited हैं. For example, the best example is coal. We are presently on the verge of facing a coal crisis. The entire world is, as well as a petrol or we can say gasoline crisis. So these resources are limited in nature. These are not unlimited. Solar की तरह नहीं है that we can exploit as much as we want, and it does not replenish. So these sources do not replenish on their own in nature with the speed that at which we can exploit it. So number 1 factor which gives rise to the study of economics is that the resources in an economy are limited. थोड़े ही resources हैं. However, because the human population, number 1, has been growing at such a fast pace, we are almost 8 billion now. and in the future we are going to exponentially grow in large numbers. So human population as well as population of other animals, other living beings around the world has been growing at a very fast pace. At the same time, there are unlimited wants and needs. So when you are studying, you might feel, for example, unlimited wants and needs का एक example क्या हो सकता है? For example, when you're studying, I had always had this wish that I would, when I get selected, when I start working, when I settle down, I will have this kind of phone, that kind of car, this kind of gadget, this kind of a house. You always have those needs or those desires in mind. But when those are fulfilled, it does not mean that you're not going to desire that thing anymore. It keeps increasing, it keeps multiplying. Today I have a Mac laptop, tomorrow I might want, today I might have an Air, tomorrow I might want or desire a Mac Pro. If I already have a Mac Pro, then I might also want to have a Windows laptop. I might also want to have an iMac. The list goes on, it's never ending process. So the wants and needs of people, which might be a need, might be an element of greed in there, whatever it is unlimited in nature. Okay, because of the problem of or the clash of these two aspects of these two facts, that the resources are limited, whereas on the other hand the wants and needs are unlimited, there is a need to create the right balance so that everyone is provided whatever he needs and everyone is satisfied to his maximum capacity. Everyone is happy. Nobody thinks that I am not provided coal because that guy took all my coal. Nobody thinks that I am not provided a Mac because there was only one Mac available and there were 100 people standing in the line, and now for my entire life I'm not going to have a Mac laptop. So that these kind of conclusions are not made by people at large. Therefore, we need to create the right balance in order to tackle this dilemma of limited resources and unlimited needs and wants of people. Because only with the right balance we can not only provide enough resources to everyone, that is one task. Providing enough resources to all the people out there, that is one task. Another objective is to satisfy all these people. Because these are two different things. Providing enough resources plus maximizing your satisfaction level, these are two different aspects. And the only way of doing this, completing these two objectives of providing enough resources as well as satisfying the people to their maximum potential, is by way of economics. Once we study, once we understand the art of economics, then the society at large can create the right balance so that these limited resources can be distributed among the people, satisfying their unlimited wants and needs. Taking forward the example of coal and petrol, there are limited resources, limited coal, limited petrol available in the economy. You cannot just exploit the entire reserve of coal and petrol in one go, in one day. You have to distribute it. Now, how do you distribute it so that everyone is satisfied? Nobody thinks that if he has the resources, if he has the money, he cannot buy petrol. You do that by distributing these unlimited resources. If you don't, then a situation like this occurs, something that I've depicted here. What is happening here is, in India, the demand of oil has been increasing in this direction, whereas the production of oil or availability of oil, that we can say, is moving in this direction. Now, what has happened, or what is the result of this mismatch between the availability of resource and the demand of the same resource? There is a rise in imports. Imports हमारे बढ़ गए. Imports have gone up. You might say it's only fine. There is no problem if there were limited oil. We are demanding more. We are paying more for the same. We are importing more for the same. What's the problem in that? The problem is not only for nature, for the environment, is it bad, is it dangerous, but also for our economy, is it bad? You must already have understood what I'm trying to get to. हमारे ऑयल इंपोर्ट्स बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गए हैं. Our oil imports have gone through the roof. The problem is that we are so dependent on these sticky imports, on these basic imports, that if tomorrow there is any kind of crisis of, let's say, foreign exchange, there is any kind of crisis of exports, then these imports might destroy our entire economy. There are various ways in which it might do it. One way is, for example, oil is already at more than rupees 100. It has already started showing its impacts. Let's say tomorrow it is at 200. There are various problems that will arise. There will be high inflation in the economy. Whatever people are earning, they will not be able to live properly with those earnings. The earnings might not double in the next 6 months, but if the price of oil doubles in the next 6 months, majority of my income will go in buying things for oil, right? Whatever good is transported in the entire economy is transported using oil. All that price or cost is going to go up. So again, inflation will rise. All the companies which are working, they will be like, okay, I'm producing biscuits. Biscuits need oil to bake them. I was selling a Parle G at rupees. I always take an example of Parle G. I was selling a Parle G for rupees 5, let's say 100 grams. Today, my cost is not even rupees 5. I want to sell it at rupees 10 in order to make sure that I make enough profit, or let's say I break even. But the market rejects it. The market says, even we don't have the money. How can we buy it at rupees 10? We don't have that kind of money anymore. The company might shut down. It might say, I'm not even able to recover my costs. What is the use of working like this? I might as well shut it down. I might as well sell it or close it. Let's say the company decides to close it down. Let's say there are 1000 employees the company is employing. All these employees will go unemployed. सबकी नौकरी चली जाएगी. What is happening here? Unemployment is rising in the economy. So there are various ways in which this imbalance between unlimited needs, unlimited wants, and limited resources might play around. This is just one example. And this is just one example which shows the extremity, the intensity with which this entire scenario might play out and destroy the entire global economy, not only Indian economy, the entire global economy. So there are various ways in which creating the right balance between unlimited wants and needs and limited resources becomes very imperative and important. If we don't keep it in mind, we will end up destroying our own economy. So this is the importance of economics for us as a society. We are so integrated, our economy, in our daily functioning, that it is very pertinent, relevant that we make sure that we maintain the right balance between the limited resources, availability of limited resources, and unlimited wants and needs of people. बहुत सारी तरीके हैं. There are various ways in which we can do it, and I will teach you all of those methods. One thing is certain: after you're done with these sessions, nobody can tell you, nobody can prove that you don't understand economy as a whole. Your understanding of economy will be very complete at a very basic level, and that's what it means to have a good understanding of any subject, to have a command on any subject. Okay, let's move forward. I hope it is clear. The first topic was, what is economics? We've understood that. So we've answered what is economics, but there are two more questions that arise. Why do we need to maintain distribution of limited resources? हमें क्यों ये इंश्योर करना है कि भाई जो भी हमारे पास रिसोर्सेज हैं उसका राइट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होना चाहिए? To maximize satisfaction and needs of people. Of course, there is the argument of maintaining the fabric of society, maintaining the balance that exists. Because if you don't distribute them well, then the balance is disturbed. However, there's a deeper why involved here, and that is to maximize satisfaction and needs. The problem is not only with distribution of limited resources. Tomorrow the government might say everyone can use only 500 milliliters of oil or half a liter of oil every day. आपको बस आधा लीटर ही मिलेगा, आधे लीटर बाद आपकी गाड़ी बंद हो जाती है. You have to walk, you have to take a public transport. They don't care. That is one way of distributing the limited resources. But what is the result of this kind of distribution? The satisfaction and needs of people are not maximized. Maximization of the satisfaction and needs of people is defeated. The whole purpose of studying economics is defeated here if you are taking decisions, you are taking steps that is not resulting in the desired outcome. What is the desired outcome? To maximize satisfaction and needs of the people. So if you're unable to maintain that maximization of satisfaction and needs, you might as well not do it. I hope you have understood it. So the entire idea of economics comes from the argument that distribution of limited resources has to be done in such a way that there is maximization of satisfaction and needs of people. If that is not happening, then you have failed. And you have failed because you've not used economics to the best possible manner. Economics is the art and science which teaches you, okay, you have limited resources, you have unlimited needs, let's distribute them in such a way that there is maximization of satisfaction and needs of you and of the society as a whole. I hope this is clear. This is the deeper meaning of why we need distribution of limited resources. This is the argument. If tomorrow somebody asks you, the government can distribute everything. We can have a communist society just like Russia, just like China. We can distribute whatever we want. The state can take over everything. We can create a socialist structure where everything is under the control of the government and the government decides who gets what, who gets how much. That will create a perfect society. That was the idea, one of the ideas or one of the points given by Karl Marx. But that is not the solution because we have seen how it fails. Because there is satisfaction, the satisfaction and the needs of the people are satisfied, are provided, but there is no maximization of satisfaction and needs of the people. That purpose is not completely fulfilled. Okay, maximizing satisfaction means that once you get that distributed amount, you are happy with it. You don't feel that there is injustice in the world. You don't feel that if I have more money in my hands, if I'm working harder than the other people, then I am not getting more. That is what we mean by maximizing. Let's take the example of a government examination, UPSC or any other government examination. Let's say the government tomorrow comes and says, from every district we are randomly going to pick up one student. Doesn't matter who he or she is. We will just randomly decide based on lottery system who this person is and he will be allotted the job. You are a hard worker. Your neighbor, on the other hand, believes in gaming. He does not believe in studying at all. He feels that he can have a nice or a nicer life by just gaming around. He gets the job through that lottery. You don't. He doesn't value it. You do. You feel that there is injustice in this world because you worked harder for the same. You have been a studious child. You understand administration better than him. You understand society. You understand the complexities of how to manage, how to administer better than him. You are more aware. But you lose out for no fault of yours. Completely opposite to meritocracy. On the other hand, he has also received the appointment letter of that job, but he does not value it. Even his needs are not maximized. His satisfaction is also not maximized because he wanted, to work in the gaming sector. He wanted to freelance as a gamer. His interest lied there. That's what he was doing. But now he's been forced to work in the APFC in the government sector as a provident fund commissioner. So the needs and the desires and the satisfaction of both of you are not maximized. Yours in a different sense, his in a different sense. Maximization of satisfaction and needs happens only when you get to choose, and if given a free hand, if given the opportunity, you can prove that you deserve it and you can have it. So it's very similar to meritocracy. Today, if I go to the market, if I want 2 liters of petrol, And if there is 2 liters of petrol available in a petrol station, then they cannot deny it unless there is an emergency measure, that is a temporary ad hoc measure. But they cannot deny it, they have to give it to me, right? So that maximizes my satisfaction and needs. On the other hand, if I go and they say only 500 liters for everyone, I have more money, but it's a permanent measure. Let's say for infinity, this is what you get every day. How dissatisfied will you be? There is no meaning of earning if you cannot make your lives easier than the other person who's riding a cycle. I'm not saying that he's doing something wrong. I ride a bicycle. I don't drive anymore. I ride to work. I go back riding or cycling to from work to my home. But that is a choice that I've made. I maximize my needs and my satisfaction through that. And nobody can stop me. Nobody can say that you cannot cycle here because it is a road meant for only cars. As a cyclist, you're not valued anymore. Okay, I hope it's clear. The difference between needs and desires, not relevant for economy purposes, more relevant maybe from ethical point of view. So we will not be discussing that here. Let's stick to whatever we are doing. This is even more important. यहाँ पे आपको काफी मजा आने वाला है. Now the third question that comes in front of you, in front of us in fact, is how do we make sure that there is maximum satisfaction and maximization of needs of people through this art and science of economics. At the very fundamental level, what do we do to make sure that there is maximization of satisfaction and maximization of needs? These are the 3, or in fact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relationships that can help you understand how is it being done through the art and science of economics. Number 1, demand supply relationship. बहुत बेसिक लेवल पे होता है डिमांड सप्लाई रिलेशनशिप. तो डिमांड और सप्लाई की कुछ रिलेशनशिप क्रिएट होगी. लेट्स से I am presently demanding, or I'm the only individual in the entire country. मैं अकेला रहता हूँ, and I am demanding, let's say, 2 packets of Parle-G biscuits. मैं 2 पैकेट्स खाता हूँ रोज, and I'm the only individual in the entire economy. Let's say import होता है, मेरे पास आता है. My demand is 2 packets of Parle-G biscuits every day. Tomorrow, let's say my demand increases and now it is 4 packets of Parle-G biscuits. Every day when I get these biscuits, I'm like, can I have more? Can I have 3? Can I have 4? Can I have more of these? The market or the exporter, the person who is delivering it to me, या फिर मैं किसी भी नुक्कड़ पे जाके मांग रहा हूँ जहाँ पे खरीद रहा हूँ, I will ask him, can I have 4 of these rather than 2? After some days, he'll be like, okay, let me give you 4. He will start getting 4 instead of 2. The company will realize, okay, instead of 2, there is one person who is demanding 4 biscuits per day. The company will then say, okay, there is more demand, let's increase the supply. यहाँ पर भी ऐसे ही हो रहा है. 53 people sitting here. Let's say tomorrow there are 500. मेरे अभी दिमाग में वो नंबर चलता रहता है. That's the target that I give to myself to satisfy my needs of this race that I'm in. Okay, not very good, but it keeps me motivated. मजा आता है थोड़ा सा. That number game is also good at times. Negative but fine. Supply. More people sitting here, more people demanding it. I would start producing more. The company will say, Nestle or whatever Parle-G belongs to will say, okay, let's start making 4 rather than 2. They will increase their supply. They will increase their production and the ultimate supply. So there is a positive demand-supply relationship which says that as demand increases, the supply also increases. This way, the economy is able to maintain the right balance. Now we have to come to this point every time. How to maintain the right balance between limited resources and unlimited wants and needs. My needs have increased. They have enhanced from 2 to 4 biscuits. Within the realm of limited resources, it is very much possible to provide me 4 biscuits. You might be getting confused, or you might be thinking, I just have the resources as a company to produce 2. I cannot produce more. Well, I'm putting this caveat that you have the ability, you have the resources to produce 4 of these biscuits. You will increase your supply. This is how the balance between unlimited needs and wants plus limited resources availability is balanced using economics. So, economics say when there is an increase in demand, there will automatically be an increase in supply, and that will result in maximization of your satisfaction and needs. What if it does not happen? What if this balance is broken? To understand at a very rudimentary level, let's say this is the demand curve. इसको हम ये नहीं, we'll not try and understand why is it like this, why is it not any other way around. This is the supply curve. Presently, this is where the equilibrium is, which means, let's say I'm demanding 2 biscuits every day. Now I start demanding 4. I'm standing here, I'm demanding 2 biscuits every day. Now I start demanding 4. मैंने 4 डिमांड करने शुरू कर दिए. What will happen? This is, if the supply does not increase, I will not have the equilibrium. Equilibrium maintain नहीं हो पाएगा if I do not increase the supply accordingly. What I need to do is to increase the supply along with an increase in demand so that a new equilibrium is created at the point 4. Otherwise, there will be an imbalance. Otherwise, the market will break down. क्या होगा? Price कहीं ना कहीं price बढ़ जाएगा. Okay, let's say this is the price. So the price was, let's say, ₹5. I'm demanding 4 now. Availability है नहीं. The price will increase to, let's say, ₹10. If I want to buy 4, I have to pay ₹10 because there is limited availability. The supply will have to increase in such a way that my demand or my need of 4 biscuits every day is fulfilled, and simultaneously the price also remains at 5. ये यहीं पे अटका रहना चाहिए, ये change नहीं होना चाहिए. If this changes, that means there is an imbalance. Okay, some kind of imbalance has been created. So economics help you understand how the right balance between limited resources and unlimited needs and wants is balanced out. You might be thinking, I'm teaching completely in English. Some people have this problem, are unable to understand completely in English. But I will give the same reason that I always give in a lot of other classes, and that is that you have to learn to study in English. You have to learn to read in English. You have to learn to think in English in order to make sure that you are better than others. Because at the end of the day, it is a meritocracy. If you're not better than others in this examination, you will not be through. Okay, I will try and include some Hindi as well. Whatever I speak in Hindi, I will speak that in English as well simultaneously. जो भी मैं हिंदी में बोलूँगा, मैं उसको इंग्लिश में भी बोलूँगा, जिससे आपको समझ आ जाए. तो पहला पॉइंट जो है हमारा, वो है डिमांड सप्लाई रिलेशनशिप. द फर्स्ट पॉइंट दैट वी हैव इज डिमांड सप्लाई रिलेशनशिप. व्हाट इट सेज इज दैट if there is an imbalance between demand and supply, demand ज़्यादा है supply से या फिर supply ज़्यादा है demand से. If the demand is more than supply, or if the supply is more than demand, then the imbalance is broken. Then the balance is broken. There is an imbalance in the situation. That means other things will start playing a role. Inflation हो जाएगा economy में. There will be inflation in the economy. There might be unemployment in the economy. The company might shut down. Many things might happen if the balance between demand and supply is broken. And the same thing will happen below as well. So how do we make sure that the distribution of limited resources is done, and at the same time there is maximization of satisfaction and needs of people? We make sure that happens, or the balance remains, by studying the demand supply relationship. ये हमें economics ने बताया है. ये हम पैदा हुए थे तो हमें नहीं पता था. When we were born, we did not understand this relationship. You're engineers, you still don't understand, you still have not read about this relationship. तो हमें पता नहीं था ये. Economics has taught us this. taught us this entire relationship, that there is a relation between demand and supply. वो बैलेंस क्रिएट करके रखना है between limited resources and unlimited needs. Then you need to maintain the right demand supply relationship. You need to understand it. Okay, that is what economics has taught it. Second is price demand relationship and demand price relationship. दोनों अलग अलग हैं. Both of these two are different. Number one, what is price demand relationship? Let's say the price of, again, let's say the price of one packet of Parle G biscuit is ₹5. 5 रुपए का एक पैकेट है पार्ले जी का. One packet costs ₹5. At this price, I am demanding every day. I have ₹10 in my pocket. I am demanding 2 packets every day. मेरे पास 10 रुपए हैं. I am demanding 2 packets every day. I am using these 10 rupees to buy 2 packets of Parle G. दो भी 5 रुपए का है. Let's say the price goes up. The price increases suddenly to ₹10 per packet. प्राइस जो है वो डबल हो गया. प्राइस जो है वो डबल हो गया. The price has doubled in the economy. What will happen to the demand? Very logical. The demand will go down. Instead of demanding 2 packets, now, given that my income stays the same, it is still constant, I will be able to buy only 1 packet now. So what has happened in this price demand relationship is, as the price of a good increases, given everything else remains the same, my income does not change, the demand of that same good will go down in the economy. What did the companies do in order to target this? एक बहुत ही खराब सिस्टम शुरू हुआ in order to target this. What the companies like, जैसे कि आप वो मैगी खाते हो, उसमें what have the companies started doing? Lays लेते हो, what have the companies started doing? Instead of increasing the price, because people understand that, people notice it very fast, they went around and they said, एक पैकेट में मैं, let's say 20, I used to give 20 biscuits. Now, let's say in one packet, let's start giving them only 10 biscuits. People would not be able to notice it immediately. उनको लगेगा ठीक है यार, एक पैकेट में 20 मिलते थे, अभी थोड़ा छोटा हो गया है, but it's fine. They will keep buying 2 packets. वो 2 ही लेंगे. Okay. So instead of increasing that or doubling the price to ₹10 per packet, I'm still selling 2 packets. I'm still selling them combined 20 biscuits. I was selling them 40 biscuits. I'm still selling them 20. I'm now selling them 20 biscuits, but the demand stays the same. I'm still selling them 2 packets, and the consumer is still buying 2 packets. So the quantity has been reduced. Nowadays, this is a new method of marketing or new method of going around this relationship which has happened, but we can ignore it for now. बहुत basic पे रहे तो better है. Let's stick to the basics. The basics say that economy says that there is a relationship between price and demand, and understanding this relationship, you can ensure that the balance between unlimited needs and limited resources is maintained. Okay, the market will shift automatically whenever this relationship is violated or there is any change in this relationship. The third one that we have here is demand price relationship. उल्टा है. Let's say I was demanding 2 packets of biscuit every day. Again, मैं चाह रहा था कि यार 2 पैकेट खाते हैं. अभी मेरी भूख बढ़ गई है. I want to have 4 packets every day now. Instead of 2, I want to eat 4 packets. मेरी डिमांड बढ़ गई. My demand has gone up. What will happen to the price? The price was, let's say, ₹5 per packet, and the company was taking ₹10 from me every day. Now the company recognizes, oh, my consumption has increased, and the only individual, now they have to make more, they have to supply more. We learned that here. They might think, let's milk this cow, let's start increasing the price. 12 for 2 packets. For 4 packets, ₹24. For 4 packets, instead of ₹20, now they're taking 24 rupees from me. I demanded more, They increased the supply, but at the same time, they also decided, let's increase the price and let's see how the consumer responds. The consumer might reject it, the consumer might be fine with it. That is a different question altogether. But there is a relationship here. A direct relationship. This is what we call a direct relationship. With an increase in demand, the price has also gone up. Because now I'm demanding more, the price has increased. There are multiple ways in which it might happen. For example, there are only 5 packets available in a shop. I used to take 2 packets, very comfortable. There was no problem, no fighting. Now I want 4. There are 2 more consumers standing in the line. They are like, I also want one, I also want one. There are now limited resources. The supply is less. The supply is less. Not everyone's needs are being satisfied. The price will automatically increase. The दुकान वाला will say, ठीक है यार, फायदा उठाते हैं. There are 3 consumers here. In total, they want 7 packets. I have only 5. Let me take more from them. मैं उनसे ज़्यादा चार्ज कर लेता हूँ. Whoever gives me 6 rupees can have this. You must have visited all these hill stations. हिमाचल गए होगे, सिक्किम गए होगे. वहाँ पे you must have seen all these Maggi walas sitting on the side selling Maggies and chai. वहाँ पे चाय सुट्टा की जगह चाय मैगी चलता है. So what happens there? A 10 rupees Maggi which you were getting made for rupees 20 in Delhi, now they will be charging you rupees 50 out there. But because the demand is there, they can charge you more. You're ready to pay because you're demanding it there. You need Maggi out there to have fun. आपको वो खाना है वहाँ पर. So even if they charge you more, you're fine with it. Right? So that's what happens when there is a higher demand. The price in the short run might go up, and this is the positive relationship between price, demand and price, and not price and demand. Okay? This is what economics has taught us. ये हमें economics की theories ने बताया है. This is how the relationship between limited resources and unlimited needs is created. In fact, fourth, let's call it fourth. So the third was demand price. The fourth is supply price relationship. Let's say the manufacturer was supplying 100 packets per day. Now he has increased his production to 200 packets per day. The demand is still the same. Demand उतनी ही है. पहले 100 सप्लाई करता था, उसको लगा that people might demand more, people might eat more if it's available out there. Let's increase the production. We're making profits. Let's increase the production. Let's invest in the company and make more. Supply बढ़ा देते हैं. Let's increase the supply. People are still demanding the same. People are not demanding more. What will happen to the price? The price was, let's say, rupees 5 per packet. Now there's a lot of the same packet available. पहले 100 थे, अभी 200 हैं. Again, let's go back to that दुकान वाला. Let's go back to that nukkad wala. He had 100 packets. Now he has 200. He wants to sell all of them. खराब हो जाएंगे वो. What will he do? He will say, you want to buy it at 2.5? Please take it. Instead of 2, take more. Give me 2.5 per packet. You were taking 2 packets for rupees 5. Now take more, because his concern is he has to sell off all these 200 packets. उसको सारे बेचने हैं. What will happen? The price is going to go down. Again, we have to assume that other things are still constant. There is no increase in demand. There is no increase or decrease in income. All those things are constant. Very basic, बहुत basic level पे बात कर रहे हैं, because this will help you answer questions much better, or at least have a better understanding about economics as a whole. इसलिए मैं इसमें इतना time दे रहा हूँ. The fifth relationship is price and supply relationship. Price of a good, let's say price of, again, packet 5 रुपए का है एक packet. Okay. The price, the company says, let's increase the price to rupees 6 per packet. Price बढ़ा देते हैं 6, or the market says increase the price to rupees 6 per packet. The company does not say anything. Market में let's say supply कम है, लोग बोल रहे हैं 5 की जगह 6 देंगे, 6 की जगह 7 देंगे. We just want this product. The price in the economy increases for reasons unknown to us. The company will say, okay, we were making 100 packets per day. Let's start making more. Let's start making 200 per day because now we can sell it for ₹6, more profits. Let's make more of these. ज़्यादा profit मिल रहा है, ज़्यादा बनाते हैं. This is what happens when you increase, when the price of a good increases in the economy, the supply also increases in the short run. ये सब short run की बातें हैं. Okay? Short run, long run समझना ज़रूरी नहीं है, not at this point of time. I hope this is clear. So this is how we have answered 3 questions. What is economics? Why is it required and how does it function? How does it make sure that there is maximization of satisfaction and needs in distributing the limited resources among people who have unlimited needs and wants? हिंदी में बोलते हैं. Economics हमें बताता है how we can distribute, किस तरह से हम maximize कर सकते हैं लोगों का satisfaction, लोगों की needs by distributing limited resources, कम resources को distribute करके among people whose wants and needs are unlimited. ऐसे लोगों में जिनकी wants और needs जो है unlimited है. Distribute तो आप कैसे भी कर सकते हो, but how do we make sure that the satisfaction and needs of people are maximized? By understanding these relationships, you can understand. Yes, there is a negative relation between price and demand. By understanding these relationships, you can have a complete understanding of how economics work. Let's move to the difference between micro and macroeconomics. माइक्रो और मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स के बीच का डिफरेंस समझने की कोशिश करते हैं यहाँ पर. व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन माइक्रो वर्सेस मैक्रो? माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स वी कैन अज्यूम और वी कैन से दैट इट वर्क्स एट इंडिविजुअल लेवल. हम अभी तक एक ही आदमी की बात कर रहे थे. वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट ओनली वन पर्सन. एक बंदा 10 पैकेट खरीदता है, एक बंदा 2 पैकेट खरीदता है, एक बंदे के पास 10 रुपए हैं, एक बंदे के पास 5 रुपए हैं. वी वर thinking about an individual, and based upon that we were trying to create the relationships. But in macroeconomics we are dealing with an aggregate level, जिसको हम country level भी बोल सकते हैं. When we are dealing with macroeconomics, we are dealing with the entire economy. What happens if there are 1 lakh people demanding or buying 2 packets of biscuits Parle-G every day? That is how you start studying economics from a macro point of view. So there is a difference in how economics will respond at a micro level and how it will respond at a macro level. Some people out of these 1,000 people, 1 lakh people who are buying biscuits might be fine with an increase in price. Some people might not be fine. Some people might give up and say, I don't have the money to buy this biscuit anymore. Some people will be like, I don't care. Let it be 6, let it be 10. I will still buy. I have the money with me. So when we are studying economics at the micro level, that is called as microeconomics at an individual level. When we are studying economics at a macro level, at an aggregate level, at a country level, then it becomes macroeconomics. Okay? This is what it says. It covers various issues like demand, supply, product pricing, factor pricing, production, consumption, economic welfare, etc. ये सारे scope के अंदर आते हैं. These all things come under microeconomics. That is why when we studied about demand, supply and price, we took it from micro perspective, not a macro perspective. At the macro level, national income, general price level, distribution, employment, money, these come into play. At the macro level, you will say what is the GDP of the entire country. You will not say how many packets of biscuits did the company create yesterday, how many did it create today, how many did Jindal sir ate today, how many is he eating today. Those are not our concerns at the macro level. Our concern is what is the national income of the economy. Price level क्या है? General price level means inflation क्या है? Inflation level क्या है economy में? What is the employment levels in the economy? Okay. All those things become important at the macro level. And it is important or helpful in determining prices of a product along with prices of factors of production within the economy. So how does microeconomics help us? It tells us how to determine the price of a product, whether it should be ₹5 or ₹6 or ₹10. Microeconomics, the study of microeconomics can help us here. It can tell us what should be the price of factors of production. मतलब आपके एक लेबर काम करने आ रही है, आपको उसको कितना पैसा देना चाहिए. That is the price of labor of production. Okay, or of labor of production. एक इकोनॉमी के अंदर how should the prices be determined, that will be studied through microeconomics. On the other hand, macroeconomics will tell us stability in the general price level, which means inflation. आप कभी भी macroeconomics की बात करते हो, you talk about the monetary policy committee, you talk about monetary policy making. You never talk about what should be the price of a Parle-G biscuit. You always talk about what is the inflation level in the economy. आरबीआई की जो कमिटी होती है, जब वो बैठती है, वो ये नहीं देखती कि भाई यहाँ पर प्राइस लेवल क्या है, उसको कम कर देते हैं, ज़्यादा कर देते हैं. They talk about economy as a whole and then they assume, वो बोलते हैं कि इन्फ्लेशन क्या है पूरी इकोनॉमी में. Tell us that. Okay. Macro problems such as inflation, unemployment, etc. as a whole. In Bihar, unemployment might be much higher than what it is in Delhi. In Kerala, unemployment might be much lower than what it is in Delhi. That is what macroeconomics will study. Okay? And macroeconomics will make sure that you understand कि भाई कहाँ पर ज़्यादा है, कहाँ पर कम है, और क्यों है ऐसा. I hope this is clear. So this is how you study micro and macroeconomics, and the difference, I believe it's clear now. Let's move to the next topic. Market economy, non-market economy and mixed economy. Very basic understanding. बहुत basic से level पे हम लोग आज पढ़ रहे हैं. Advanced level पे कल जाएंगे. I want to make sure that the next time we meet and we have another session, you are not asking me or you're not confused about these basic terms again, because when we start diving deeper into economy, it might get very technical at times. When it gets technical, then you have to come back to these basics on your own as well. I have to assume that you already remember these things. Okay? Market, mixed, non-market. Prices determined by market forces, production determined by market forces, unrestricted competition. Very simple. The market forces of demand and supply will determine the price. If the demand is more than supply, the prices will increase. I want 2 biscuits, there is only 1 available on the shelf. I will say, I will pay you twice the money. I want this biscuit packet. The prices now are determined by the market forces. The production is also determined by the market forces. What is happening in the oil industry right now? This is not happening in the oil industry. Production is not determined by the market forces. This is determined by the market forces depending upon the supply and the demand of oil in the economy. On the other hand, production is not determined by market forces. OPEC comes together and decides how much to produce, when to produce how much. So the production is not determined by market forces in this area. But in a market economy, in a pure market economy, production is also determined by market forces. And the competition is unrestricted. If tomorrow a new company wants to dig oil, wants to take out oil, wants to sell oil, it can. If a new company wants to come up in Saudi Arabia and wants to dig oil and sell it, they can. That is what we mean by unrestricted competition. In the education sector today, there is unrestricted competition. You feel that you want to teach, nobody is stopping you, nobody can stop you, right? Unrestricted competition. There are 1,000 more people or 1 lakh more people or 10 lakh more people who feel that they can also crack APFC examination, who feel that they can also crack CSE examination, who feel that they can also crack RBI examination, NABARD examination. Nobody can stop them. कोई भी उनको रोक नहीं सकता है. Unrestricted competition. That is what we mean by a market economy. A non-market economy, on the other hand, is completely opposite of a market economy. The prices are determined by the government, the production is determined by the government, and the government only decides allocation of resources and the prices also. किसको कितना मिलेगा? Let's say the government tomorrow comes in and says everyone will get half a liter of petrol at a price of rupees 200. Not more than that. You're not allowed to have more than that in one day. It becomes a non-market economy. Production determined by the government. OPEC says we're going to produce only this much today. Production determined by the government, non-market economy. Prices determined by the government. Used to happen in the oil industry. The government used to set prices irrespective of how much they had to pay to buy it. India mein, the government decided prices regularly. They said, okay, oil is going to be at rupees 65 per litre for the next 2 years. Even if it is for rupees 100 in the market, they are buying it at rupees 100, they're selling it at rupees 65 to the people. Price is determined by the government. I hope this is clear. Then we have the mixed economy, a mixture of market and non-market economy. So India is a mixed economy. Presently also it's a mixed economy. But it is fastly moving towards a market economy. Why is it still a mixed economy? उसको भी समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. Through these, you can answer very basic questions in the interview as well. Our objective is not to just crack prelims, just crack phase 2 or mains. Our objective is to crack the interview also inside out. And that can happen only when we are clear about these basics. What is a mixed economy? Price is largely determined by the market. Government can intervene for social welfare. Let's say the prices of oil increase to rupees 150 tomorrow. The government says we are going to sell it for rupees 95 to the people. We are going to pay the deficit of rupees 55 from our pocket. The government will pay this to the exporters, but the people are going to pay rupees 95. Largely prices have been determined by the market, but in case of any extreme situation, in case of any imbalance in the economy, for social welfare, the government can intervene. MSP, one of the best examples. MSP and PDS working together. What is this? An example of a mixed economy. Production largely determined by the government, by the market. Government can intervene for social welfare. Used to happen in India. Quotas used to be placed. You can produce only this much. You cannot produce more than this. You cannot produce less than this amount. The government was intervening very heavily for social welfare. For example, the government, let's say, this is a hypothetical example. I don't know if it is correct or not. I'm just making it up. Let's say in 1964, the government said you can only produce 1 lakh tons of 1 lakh tons of steel every year. The government said all the people combined, all the industries combined, you can produce only 1 lakh tons of steel every year. The government has intervened for social welfare. Production has been, normally it was determined by the market, but the government has intervened and it says that you cannot produce more than this. So this intervention is possible only in a mixed economy. Okay. The third one that we have is government functions along with the private sector for enhancing competition in the market and regulate price and production. So the government and the private sector work together to ensure that there is maximum social welfare in the economy, so that there is maximum competition in the economy. Okay. For example, Air India. Air India used to provide very good competition to all the private carriers, and it used to make sure that the entire air industry is working as per certain rules and regulations that have been created by the government through Air India. उन्होंने कुछ prices determine किए, उन्होंने कुछ rules बनाए, उन्होंने कुछ policies बनाई, and those policies were forced upon other players in the market, because otherwise people will reject these other players. Let's say Air India today says we are going to sell Delhi to Mumbai flights for only rupees 2000. All the other players like Indigo and etc., they are priced at rupees 4000. Now the market will move towards Air India very heavily, and people will be like, okay, I'm not paying rupees 4000 for the same flight, I'll instead take Air India. So now the pricing of the entire market has come down. Competition has increased in the economy. Price-based competition. This is how a mixed economy functions, where the government also makes sure that through its tools and techniques, it is enhancing competition in the economy. I hope it's clear. Let's move forward. Sectors of Indian economy, very basic. There are students who are confused about this. Therefore, I wanted to discuss it very briefly. थोड़ा जल्दी discuss करते हैं. We've already crossed a long time. Primary or agriculture sector, which includes agriculture, forestry, fishing, and animal husbandry. This is not an exhaustive list. This is just an indicative list. ये एक exhaustive list नहीं है, indicative list है कि ये areas आते हैं agriculture के अंदर largely. Okay. When we are talking about secondary or industry sector, उसमें क्या आएगा? Mining and quarrying, manufacturing, electricity, gas, water supply, utility services, construction. These come under secondary or industry. Now, construction and real estate, these are two different things. ये दोनों अलग अलग हैं. Real estate comes under services, but एक घर बनाना या फिर एक building बनाना, that comes under construction. Real estate is the service being provided in the real estate sector in buying and selling of houses or buying and selling of properties. तो वो हमारा सर्विस सेक्टर में आ जाएगा. कंस्ट्रक्शन हमारा सेकेंडरी में आ जाएगा या फिर इंडस्ट्री में आ जाएगा. So let's say there is a brick industry, let's say there is a steel industry, let's say there is an iron industry, iron companies. All those will be a part of construction. All those will come under industry, will come under secondary sector. Service में क्या क्या आएगा? We have trade, hotel, transport, storage, communication, services related to broadcasting, financial services, real estate services, professional services, public administration, defense service, and various other services. Now, when you are producing an aircraft, that is not a defense service. Therefore, that will come under secondary sector. But when you're providing defense services, that comes under service sector. I hope this is clear. तो ये एक बहुत rudimentary सा difference है, very basic difference between primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors. Okay. Okay, this has been repeated. That's okay. Now let's come to the history of national income in India. I think there are just 3 slides here. थोड़ा सा अच्छे से cover करेंगे. There is one important question here that lies within this topic, and it's important that we cover that. Okay. So the history of national income in India is normally taken up from the perspective of the grand old man of India, who was Dadabhai Naoroji, 1825 to 1917. He gave the first estimate of national income in 1867-68. उन्होंने first estimate दिया था 1867-68 में. He came out with the drain of wealth theory in his book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. He said that the British rule in India was very un-British. Okay. So remember the year. Number 1, first estimate of national income can be a objective question, 67-68. Drain of wealth theory, also called as Grand Old Man of India. The name of the book in which he came out with this theory was the Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. What did he say? उन्होंने बोला क्या था वो एक बार देख लेते हैं. ये वाला पार्ट हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे about 5 minutes later. Number 1, he said, भाई टैक्सेस इंडिया से लेते हो, use this money to buy goods from India and export to Britain. Free export. There were Diwani rights being given by the British, being given by Indian rulers then to the British. Diwani rights दिए गए थे. Those rights were the rights wherein the Britishers could collect revenue, tax revenue. The Britishers started taxing the people. Normally क्या होता था? What would happen? What used to happen before Diwani rights was that the Britishers used to import a lot of goods from India. Spices हो गए, opium हो गया. Opium तो और purposes के लिए करते थे. Tea हो गया. बहुत सारी चीजें वो import करते थे. Okay. Manufactured goods also, especially cottage and small sector goods. So they used to import heavily from India. अब उन imports की वजह से इंडिया की जेब भर रही थी. So India was able to export a lot, and that was resulting in huge deficits for Britain. उन्होंने क्या किया? They found out a way to make their exports free. So they demanded Diwani rights. They fought some wars. They won those wars, and then as a penalty, they said, we are going to have taxing powers now in this area. So they started taxing people. They started collecting revenue from the people in those areas, and they started using those revenues. अब मैंने टैक्स कलेक्ट किया 1000 रुपये. मेरे लिए तो फ्री है ना. आई एम नॉट अ सिटीजन ऑफ दिस कंट्री. आई एम a colony which has been set up here. My only purpose is to exploit and make money. मैं क्या करूँगा उस 1000 रुपये से. दिस 1000 रुपीज़ इज़ फ्री फॉर मी. फ्री में आया मेरे पास, तो आई डोंट हैव टू डेवलप द लोकल इकोनॉमी. आई डोंट हैव टू वर्क फॉर द पीपल. मुझे कुछ नहीं करना है. वॉट विल आई डू? आई विल यूज़ दिस मनी टू बाय एक्सपोर्टेबल गुड्स. मैं किसी ट्रेडर के पास जाऊँगा. आई विल बी लाइक, ओके, गिव मी one bag of let's say spices. Give me 1000 kgs of spices for let's say rupees 1000. उसने मुझे दे दिया 1000 किलो. I've exported it to Britain. तो मेरे को 1000 रुपये में फ्री में बेसिकली वो एक्सपोर्ट का सामान मिल गया. एंड नाउ I've sold it in Britain, एंड वहाँ पे जो भी प्रॉफिट हुआ that is also mine. So that is how the British colony here, the East India Company here started making money after they attained Diwani rights. So this was how the money, the wealth of India was being drained out of the economy, because tax belongs to an economy, belongs to a nation, and they were draining this tax out of the economy in this direction. Second was home charges. उन्होंने क्या बोला drain of wealth theory के अंदर? Home charges. Expenses of British officers were charged from Indians. These salaries etc. were then sent to Britain. Home charges का मतलब क्या है? Home charges के अंदर वो क्या बोलते थे? British officers are working here. ये आपके लिए काम कर रहे हैं. These people are working for you. Whatever salaries they are being paid, we are going to pay them from the tax revenue that is being generated. 1000 rupees tax revenue generate हुआ था. उसमें से 200 रुपये आपने सैलरी दे दी, 200 रुपये आपने पेंशन दे दी. And then you say we have less money, only rupees 600, very less for us. Let's increase the tax rate so that we can now collect rupees 2000. Tax rate बढ़ा देते हैं. It did not matter to them. For them, it only mattered how much they could suck out from the country. And there is no limit to your greed. So they said, okay, let's have rupees 2000 now as taxes. Let's pay rupees 200 as salaries, 200 as pension, etc. etc. We still have a lot of money. We can use this money for free exports. All these salaries and pensions, which actually belonged to the country because this was coming out of tax revenue, was also being sent abroad. अभी British officers deputation पे आया है. His wife or his family is still in Britain. He earns rupees 200. He uses 100. He sends back rupees 100 remittance. Now what is that doing? Because this money originally belonged to India, it was tax revenue. Now it is being sent abroad. So there is a complete or a clear drain of wealth happening. I hope this is clear. Then there was triangular foreign trade. Let's try and understand this first, then we'll come to triangular foreign trade. European investment in infrastructure projects in India, interest income from that. So what happened in India was, for example, we talk about railways, and there is an argument by the British saying that Indians were incapable of introducing these new initiatives, were incapable of modernizing the country, and we did it for them. That is the argument that they give. But why is this argument flawed according to Dadabhai Naoroji? He says it is flawed because railways को create करने के लिए, in order to create railways, let's say I needed an investment of rupees 1 lakh. A private merchant from Britain came forward, or a bank from Britain came forward, and it said, we will give you this 1 lakh on loan, but we will charge an interest of 10%. Very high, very very high. बहुत high है ये तो, but हम लोग तो इतना ही charge करेंगे. India says, or the Britishers in India say, okay fine, 1 lakh रुपए हमको दो, 10% interest is fine. Railways is created. Whatever revenues are collected from railways after that, interest is being paid, which is going to this merchant in Britain, which is going to this bank in Britain. Railways, whatever revenue is being collected, it is also being paid, also being used to pay this 1 lakh back to this merchant. Whatever taxes are being collected, they are being used to pay back not only this 1 lakh but also this 10% interest rate, which is very high already because there is corruption involved. It was supposed to be 3%, but it is 10% because there is corruption there. because for them it doesn't matter. The higher the interest, the better it is for them, right? So this is how investment of the British in India was also a tool to drain out wealth from India. That is what Dadabhai Naoroji said. There have been questions on Dadabhai Naoroji's drain of wealth in phase 1 as well as phase 2, in prelims as well as mains or various exams. So I hope it's very, very important that you understand this. Imports of agriculture from India and exports of manufactured products to India. Another point of drain of wealth. What they used to do was, let's export spices from India. Okay, spices, rupees 100 per kg pe, let's say they imported from India. They processed it, manufactured it, let's say converted into some kind of commodity, and now are selling it for rupees 1000 per kg back to Indians. Import of agriculture or primary products, that is a better word, primary products from India, and export of manufactured products back to India. So they did this in order to, number one, enhance and improve their manufacturing sector, number two, to make money. And this was resulting in drain of wealth from India, because import to kar rahe the, but import was at a very low price by arm twisting, and then they were export at a very high price, draining the wealth out of Indians. आपसे सारी शक्ति, सारी एनर्जी उन्होंने ले ली इस तरह से. Now the last point of drain of wealth, or an important perspective in history of national income in India, is triangular foreign trade. What this means is that there was a triangle of foreign trade created with many countries, including India. And how did it function with India is, for example लिया है ये hypothetical. India exports primary products to China. मैंने बहुत सारा wheat चाइना को एक्सपोर्ट किया, let's say at rupees 100 per kg again. Now China is again a colony, another colony of Britain. ब्रिटेन ने इंपोर्ट किया यही एग्रीकल्चर, यही वीट चाइना से एट लेट्स से रुपीज 80 पर केजी. तो यहाँ पे चाइना इज पेइंग इंडिया रुपीज 100 पर केजी. नंबर वन, इंडिया हैज रुपीज 100 नाउ, but China is selling it at rupees 80 per kg to Britain. So China is short of rupees 20, deficit of rupees 20. It doesn't matter to the British. British are able to buy the wheat at rupees 80, which they had to buy from India, or they could have bought from India at rupees 100. The loop does not end here. India has rupees 100. The Britishers are going to take away this money as well. So they've already bought wheat at a lesser price. They're going to export it by manufacturing it back to India. उन्होंने मैन्युफैक्चर किया, उसको वीट को कन्वर्ट किया, लेट्स से रोटीज बना दी, or whatever bread, they made bread out of it, and they exported that processed bread back to India. से ये वाला हम आपको बेचते हैं रुपीज 1000 per kg. It could have been made in India, but the Britishers did not allow Indian industries to grow, and therefore what did they do? They exported all of this to India at a very high price of rupees 1000 per kg. This rupees 100 is, number one, going to be used to pay this rupees 1000 per kg. Number two, this rupees 100 is also going to be used to pay the British subjects in the form of home charges. तो ये सारा पैसा जो था 100 रुपये, this also goes back to Britain. तो ब्रिटेन ने कितना पैसा कमा लिया इस सब ट्रांजैक्शन में? इन सब ट्रांजैक्शन में कितना पैसा कमाया ब्रिटिश ने? 100 rupees from India, number one. Okay, they got it for rupees 80 from Britain. They say from China they save 20 rupees there. तो 80 रुपये लेट्स से यहाँ पे खर्च किए, तो 20 रुपये यहाँ पे इन शॉर्ट मैंने सीधे सीधे कमाए विदाउट एनी एफर्ट, 20 रुपये. देन I am selling it at rupees 1000. It should have been sold for, let's say, rupees 200 per kg. But I did not allow Indian companies to grow, and therefore I made a profit of rupees 800 here without any value addition. So I have made free money of 820 just by one transaction of rupees 100. 100 रुपये की एक ट्रांजेक्शन पे मैंने 800 रुपये कमा लिए, 820 रुपये कमा लिए. So this is what it means by triangular foreign trade, where they included two colonies, traded with them, and arm twisted these two colonies to do what they wanted to be done, and through that made a lot of money. This was also an important aspect of drain of wealth. I hope it is clear. The last point that we have is about Dr. V.K.R.V. Rao in 1930-31. He was the first one who came with a scientific method to compute national income. He divided the Indian economy into two parts, primary and secondary sector. प्राइमरी में आता था एग्रीकल्चर, फॉरेस्ट, फिशिंग, हंटिंग एटसेट्रा. सेकेंडरी में आता था इंडस्ट्रीज, कंस्ट्रक्शन, ट्रांसपोर्ट, पब्लिक सर्विस, बिजनेस एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. ही वॉज द फर्स्ट वन हु मेड दिस क्लासिफिकेशन. सो दादा भाई नौरोजी ने वो क्लासिफिकेशन नहीं किया था कि ये प्राइमरी सेक्टर है, सेकेंडरी सेक्टर है. ही अंडरस्टूड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर एंड इंडस्ट्री. ओके, आई होप इट्स क्लियर. ये आई थिंक यहाँ पे पिक्चर गलत डली हुई है, पिक्चर को हटा देते हैं. ओके, पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस व्हाट हैज हैपेंड. Post independence, P.C. Mahalanobis was the first one who came out with a National Income Committee. He was made the chairman of National Income Committee, which was created in 1949 in order to estimate the national income of India. CSO was created for estimating GDP of the country. CSO was created for estimating GDP of the country, and national income estimates were created by CSO or released by CSO based upon survey of National Sample Survey Organization as an NSSO. NSSO and CSO were merged to form NSO under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. I hope it is clear. तो ये पूरा एक टाइमलाइन था जो क्रिएट हुआ था in order to measure national income in the economy. Very basic. I've just given you a basic timeline. द बेसिक्स जो और डेप्थ में होगा नेशनल इनकम के बारे में वो हम थोड़ा और डिटेल में बाद में पढ़ेंगे. वील ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड इट व्हेन वी स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द नेक्स्ट क्लास विद सर्कुलर फ्लो ऑफ इनकम. वो सारी चीज़ें और बहुत सारी चीज़ें अगर फर्स्ट टॉपिक पे आए तो अभी हमने दो कवर किए हैं. सो देयर इज सर्कुलर फ्लो ऑफ इनकम, मीनिंग एफ स्कोप ऑफ नेशनल इनकम, इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म्स, इंपॉर्टेंट वेरिएंट्स, estimates of national income. We are going to study all of those and it's going to be very very interesting. Okay, Central Statistics Office, नेशनल स्टैटिस्टिक्स ऑफिस, सेंट्रल स्टैटिस्टिक्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन या फिर ऑफिस भी बोलते हैं उसको, was created and then it was merged with NSSO to create National Statistics Office. Okay, under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Okay, I hope it's clear. So this is all for this particular session. I hope it was useful. I hope you learned something new. Even if in this session you learned one new thing, that is more than enough for you to go ahead with a positive attitude that I'm going to watch other sessions and I'm going to make sure that my learning does not stop and I don't have to leave any stone unturned, okay, to prepare for this examination. Okay, this was all for this session. I hope it was very very useful. Let us take some doubts if you have any. Yes, NCERT book is very very good for reference. You can use that. Somebody saying MA in Public Administration. Yes, MA in Public Administration is useful. It's good enough. It's going to be useful for your UPSC prep as well. Fully pumped up for the first time after economics class. I'm glad that you liked it. मुझे बीच में ऐसा लग रहा था कि यार शायद स्टूडेंट्स बोर हो रहे हैं, ज़्यादा डेप्थ में घुस गए हैं हम चीज़ों की. But I'm very very glad that you liked it. That is the entire idea. One second guys. ओके, शेख समी इज सेइंग आपकी क्लास देखकर मुझे भी इंग्लिश आने लगा. दैट इज द ऑब्जेक्टिव. यही तो ऑब्जेक्टिव है. और एंड आई एम वेरी वेरी थैंकफुल टू यू समी that you have brought out this point, and that is the ultimate target. इंग्लिश में मूवीज़ देखोगे तो इंग्लिश समझ आने लगेगी. आई रिमेंबर मैं आई थिंक 15-20 दिन पहले एक मूवी देखने गया था, नो टाइम टू डाई. एंड आई एम यूज टू वॉचिंग मूवीज विद इंग्लिश सब टाइटल्स बिलो दैम. आदत पड़ गई. And in that movie there were no subtitles, and before entering the hall, the movie theater, I realized कि यार titles तो है ही नहीं, समझ नहीं आएगी आधी मूवी. तो मैं बैठा एंड आई स्टार्टेड listening to the actors, the people there in the movie very very carefully. मैं बड़े ध्यान से सुन रहा था कि यार ये समझ नहीं आ रही मुझे. That was the target, that was a new mission for me कि आज ये समझ नहीं है ध्यान से. And you won't believe it, I was able to understand the entire movie, the entire plot, because मैंने बड़े ध्यान से सुना. नीचे लिखा रहता था तो बड़ा ईजी होता था, बट वो ध्यान से सुनने में बड़ा एफर्ट लग रहा था. तो कहीं ना कहीं इंग्लिश इंप्रूव हुई होगी. ओके. इज डिप्लोमा नीडेड फॉर APFC? नॉट मैंडेटरी, डिजायर्ड. ओके. बत्रा इज आस्किंग समथिंग. इकोनॉमिक्स से MA, व्हाट इज द एग्जैक्ट क्वेश्चन? सर MA इकोनॉमिक्स से सही रहेगा क्या? कैन यू आस्क द एंटायर क्वेश्चन? बत्रा का ऊपर है क्वेश्चन. PG इकोनॉमिक्स सब्जेक्ट से करना चाहती हूँ बट इंग्लिश बहुत वीक है. मैं कितना ज़रूरी है इंग्लिश PG के लिए? इंग्लिश इज़ ऑफकोर्स रेलिवेंट, इम्पॉर्टेंट, बट इट इज़ नॉट दी ओनली फैक्टर. तो आप PG भी करिए इकोनॉमिक्स में, एंड साथ में कीप वर्किंग ऑन योर इंग्लिश एज वेल. ओके. एंड इट्स वेरी वेरी पॉसिबल, दोनों साथ में हो सकते हैं. ओके. प्लीज़ डू प्रोवाइड सम क्वेश्चंस इन द PDF. यार वो धीरे धीरे बिल्डअप करेंगे, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. क्वेश्चंस भी प्रोवाइड करेंगे साथ में, ऑब्जेक्टिव और डिस्क्रिप्टिव दोनों ही देंगे, सो दैट यू कैन प्रिपेयर फॉर CSE ऑल्सो, यू कैन प्रिपेयर फॉर APFC ऑल्सो. सबकी तैयारी आप कर सको. आई विल ट्राई एंड हैव द क्वेश्चंस ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड. ओके. डू वी नीड टू मेक नोट्स? आई एम शेयरिंग ऑल दीज PDFs अलॉन्ग विद यू. तो ये PPT की PDFs हैं, वो ध्यान में रखिए, वीडियो देख लीजिए. You can make notes on these PPTs only. That is good enough. Okay. Economic with mathematics, not again clear. पूरा क्वेश्चन पूछिए. दो मिनट. UPSC ALC के लिए डिप्लोमा चाहिए क्या? ALC अभी देखना पड़ेगा. ओके. चलिए. I think it was a very very nice session. Thanks a lot guys. NET exam देना है MA के बाद. Batra is saying yes, work on your English. English आपकी weak है, doesn't matter. Okay. चलिए, all the best guys. Good night, take care. Batra आपके questions थोड़े clear नहीं है, that's why I'm not able to answer it. एक बार लिख के दोगे तो थोड़ा सा ईजी रहेगा मेरे लिए. सोनू इज आस्किंग आंसर राइटिंग करेंगे तो आप इवेल्युएट करेंगे क्या? आंसर राइटिंग के कुछ अभी सीरीज स्टार्ट करेंगे ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. आई वाज सेटिंग विद शुभम सर और हम लोग सोच रहे थे कि किस तरह से सीरीज स्टार्ट करें, टाइम किस तरह से निकालें, वो भी करेंगे. ओके. साइंस करंट अफेयर्स, अरविंद इज आस्किंग. यस, पहले साइंस के बेसिक्स कवर करेंगे, देन आई विल कवर करंट अफेयर्स. ओके. ठीक है. चलिए, ऑल द बेस्ट गाइज, टेक केयर, बाय बाय, गुड नाइट. आई विल सी यू अगेन ऑन थर्सडे विद द नेक्स्ट सेशन.